God says, you are receiving this special message sent by heaven. It's only for you. Don't tell anyone. Something very bad is about to happen in 20 minutes if you skip this, so God begs you to open this immediately. This message may feel like a whisper, a breeze you weren't expecting, but it comes straight from the heart of the Father who sees you and never forgets you. Whether you found this by accident or it was shared with you, you were meant to see it. God doesn't make mistakes, and this is not just any moment. It's a divine appointment, wrapped in gentle urgency and quiet power. Let your heart be still and open wide, because what comes next is only for you and no one else. Type Amen if you believe. In the quiet spaces of your soul, when the world has grown loud and the path before you feels uncertain, God is still speaking. He never stops reaching out. Through every season, every loss, every breathless moment when you felt like giving up, He was near. And now, this very message is another way He is proving He's still here. He's not distant. He's not waiting for you to be perfect. He loves you right now, exactly as you are, and He's holding your heart with hands that created the heavens. You may be feeling heavy, like life has thrown too much your way lately, and it's been hard to hold your head up. You've cried alone in the dark, wondering if anyone sees, if anyone hears. But God saw those tears before they ever fell. He counts them. He holds each one like a pearl of great worth. He's not ignoring you, He's weaving them into something sacred. Even if you feel far from Him, even if you haven't prayed in weeks or feel ashamed of what you've done, He's not turned away. In fact, He's closer than ever. His mercy is not given to the worthy, it's given to the weary. His grace isn't for the perfect, it's for the broken-hearted who still whisper His name through trembling lips. And He hears you. He always hears you. There's a reason your heart aches the way it does. You were never made to carry it all alone. Jesus came not to burden you but to carry what you couldn't. He walked into suffering and laid Himself down so you wouldn't have to walk through the fire alone. And right now, you're not alone. Whether you're in a hospital bed, sitting in your car, lying on the floor trying to breathe through the tears, or just staring at the ceiling trying to feel something, He is beside you. You are seen. You are known. You are loved beyond measure. Type 1111 if you trust in God. Maybe people have failed you. Maybe you've been let down by those you trusted most. That pain is real, and God doesn't minimize it. But He's not like them. He doesn't betray. He doesn't walk away. He stays when everyone else leaves. He remains steady when the ground beneath you shakes. He doesn't need you to have it all together. He just wants you to come, exactly as you are, with whatever is left of you. Your future is not ruined. No matter how much has gone wrong, it's not too late for God to step in and make something new. He's not intimidated by the mess. In fact, it's in the deepest messes that His miracles unfold. You may not see how any of this turns into good, but He does. And He's already working behind the scenes, bending time and circumstance for your healing. This moment, this message, is not a coincidence. God has been waiting for the right time to remind you of something. You are His. Not by accident. Not by chance. You belong to Him. No matter what's happened or what's to come, that truth doesn't change. He still has a plan for you. And it's not a small one. It's not delayed. It's not forgotten. It's just beginning. So take a deep breath. Let the weight you're carrying melt into the hands of the Savior who stretched out His arms for you. He didn't do it for a world of strangers, He did it for you, personally, intimately, eternally. He doesn't regret saving you. He rejoices over you. And in this sacred pause, He's whispering again, I'm not done with you. There are things God is preparing that you haven't even imagined yet. There are doors about to open that no one can shut. There's peace on the way that will calm the storm inside you. He sees the end from the beginning, and nothing about your life surprises Him. Not your failures, not your doubts, not your silence. He still calls you beloved. When you feel like everything is falling apart, that might just be the moment everything is actually falling into place in His hands. Sometimes, what looks like loss is actually protection. Sometimes, the delays are the way God is saving you from things you never saw coming. He knows every detail, and He doesn't miss a single piece of your puzzle. Even when you felt invisible, even when the night swallowed your strength, even when you believed you had been forgotten, He was there, whispering peace into your chaos. This message is a quiet rescue, a holy invitation to rest in something greater than your pain, your fear, and your questions. Type 222 if you believe this message was meant for you. A powerful 7-second morning ritual, once hidden in CIA files, is resurfacing, and people are already seeing fast financial breakthroughs. It takes only seconds, yet activates a dormant wealth center in the brain most people never access. Click the link in the description and comments now. Access it before it disappears. Sometimes the pain becomes too familiar, and you start to believe it will always be there. You wake up tired, not just in your body, but in your soul. You smile, but there's a deep silence underneath. You carry 1,000 thoughts, but feel like there's no one who would understand if you shared them. You try to stay strong because you feel like no one else will hold you if you fall apart. But God sees you in that quiet struggle. He watches over you in the moments no one claps for. He sits with you when the world moves on, when the calls stop coming, and the light grows dim. He's not waiting for you to be louder, or better, or more spiritual. He's already with you in the stillness, where no one else sees. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. You are not behind. You are not a disappointment. If only you could see how He looks at you, how much compassion floods His gaze every time you breathe His name. He is not keeping score. He is not tallying your failures. He is holding out His hand, inviting you to come home, again and again, no matter how many times you've wandered. That's the kind of Father He is. And Jesus, oh, Jesus knows the weight of this world. He walked it. He wept for it. He took on its pain, not from a distance, but from within it. He was tired. He was betrayed. He felt the sting of loneliness. He knows the ache of a heart that's misunderstood. That's why He can reach into your story so gently, because He has lived the wounds you carry. He doesn't rush your healing. He kneels beside you, waiting, comforting, restoring. You might think this is just another moment, but heaven sees it as holy. This is a turning point, not because something dramatic is happening outside of you, but because something tender is happening within you. Your heart is softening. Your spirit is reaching. And God is leaning in close. He is not silent. He is singing over you. He is speaking life into your dry places. Type 555 if you trust that Jesus is walking with you right now. Every single storm you've faced has not been for nothing. You may not understand why things happened the way they did, but not one of those tears went unnoticed. Not one prayer was ignored. God is not ignoring you now. He's aligning things behind the scenes, weaving together what looks like broken threads into a tapestry of beauty and strength. You don't need to see it all right now. You just need to trust that He is working it all out for your good, even if it doesn't feel good yet. He knows the weight you carry, the responsibility, the loss, the worry about the future. He knows the nights you couldn't sleep because your thoughts wouldn't stop running. He knows the days you wore a smile so no one would worry, but inside you were begging for a break, a sign, a word. This is that word. This is that sign. You are not walking into a disaster. You are walking into deliverance. God is not done writing your story. The next chapter is already prepared, and it's full of healing, hope, and holy surprises. You may not see the ending, but He already knows how the final pages will read. And it ends in light. It ends in redemption. It ends in joy that makes sense of all the sorrow. The love of God is not a concept. It's not a faraway idea reserved for someone more perfect. It's here. It's for you. It's reaching into your life now, asking you to believe again. Believe that you are worth loving. Believe that your life still matters. Believe that no matter how many wrong turns you took, God is still leading you home. There's nothing you have to prove. There's no mask you need to wear. In His presence, you can exhale. You can be real. You can be honest. And still be fully embraced. There is no shame that His mercy cannot cover. No wound that His hands cannot heal. No past that His grace cannot redeem. What the enemy tried to use to break you, God is about to use to bless you. You may not know how to pray the perfect words. That's okay. God hears your sighs. He understands your silence. He's not limited by your vocabulary. He listens to the heart. He knows when you're saying, "Help me," even when all you can do is sit quietly and cry. He meets you in the rawest places. He doesn't flinch at your pain. He absorbs it. Right now, He is lifting burdens you didn't even realize you've been carrying for years. He's washing over your soul with peace that doesn't make sense in this world. He's reminding you that you are not forgotten in the crowd. You are chosen. You are called. You are carried. So rest your heart. Let go of the panic. Release the fear of what might come. You are not walking alone into the unknown. The one who walks with you already sees beyond the bend in the road. And He's good. He's faithful. He's full of love that never runs dry. Whether you were searching or simply stumbled across this, know this truth: God planned this moment. He saw your weariness, your wondering, your whisper of, "I can't do this anymore." And He answered. He didn't send this message to scold or shame. He sent it to remind you, you are still His. You've always been His. Type 1919 to receive miracles from God. There are days when the weight of everything feels like too much. You try to move forward, but the pain behind you pulls harder. Maybe you've questioned why things had to be so difficult, why the good things slipped away so fast, or why the ones you trusted broke your heart the deepest. Maybe you've been waiting for answers that never seem to come. But even in the silence, God is speaking. Even when you feel stuck, He is moving. And right now, He is working within you something far greater than you can see. A simple but powerful 7-second at-home ritual, it's hidden in CIA files for years, is now changing lives rapidly. Backed by neuroscience research, it can begin shifting your financial direction in just days. Click the link in the description and comments now and step into abundance today. The love of God isn't loud or demanding. It doesn't shout to get your attention. It's gentle, like a whisper in the middle of your storm, like a hand stretched out when you're too tired to stand. That's the kind of love He's offering you now. A love that meets you in your confusion and lifts you without forcing you to pretend everything is okay. You don't need to have all the right words. You don't need to be perfect or strong. You just need to be willing to let Him in. He knows where it hurts the most. He sees what no one else sees. The memories that haunt you. The decisions you regret. The dreams you buried because they seemed impossible. He understands the quiet disappointments you don't talk about. And even then, He still calls you chosen. Even then, He still has a purpose for your life. You are not defined by your lowest moments. You are not limited by your past. God is still writing beauty from the ashes. Sometimes, healing doesn't come all at once. It comes slowly, quietly, over time. And that's okay. God isn't rushing you. He's not disappointed in your pace. He simply wants to walk with you, step by step, through every valley and into every breakthrough. You are not falling behind. You are not too late. You are right where grace can reach you. Type yes to affirm you believe God still has a plan for you. Jesus never promised that life would be easy, but He did promise that He would never leave you in it. When your strength gives out, He becomes your strength. When your heart breaks, He gathers the pieces and holds them tenderly. When everything feels uncertain, He becomes your peace. He doesn't wait for you to come to Him perfect. He came to you while you were still hurting. And He hasn't left since. Maybe you've felt invisible. Maybe you've smiled around people but cried when you were finally alone. Maybe you've questioned your worth or wondered if anyone would really notice if you disappeared. But God noticed. And He still notices. He has been by your side through every long night, every silent prayer, every moment you didn't know how to go on. He has not let go. And He won't. You were not made to carry the whole world on your shoulders. You were not made to pretend everything is fine when your heart is breaking. That's why God reaches in, not to expose your weakness but to carry the burden with you. You don't have to hide your pain to be loved by Him. In fact, the parts you hide are the very places where His healing begins. God doesn't promise a life without storms. But He does promise that you will never face them alone. Every tear you've cried, He has counted. Every heartbreak, He has felt with you. And in His own time, He will bring beauty even from this. He is not far. He is not quiet. He is not still. He is moving, restoring, lifting, and preparing you for more than just survival. He's preparing you for joy, for peace, for new life. There will come a day when you'll look back on this season and see how God carried you through it. You'll remember the nights you cried yourself to sleep and realize that it was in those very moments He was holding you closer than ever. You'll see the prayers you whispered answered in ways you didn't expect. And you'll know that none of it was wasted. Not one moment. Not one tear. He's not asking you to figure it all out. He's asking you to trust that He already has. Trust that what looks like the end is often the beginning in His hands. Trust that the doors that closed were not rejections, they were redirections. Trust that even in the silence, God is singing over you. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. You are not unloved. So breathe. Let the weight slide off your shoulders and into His hands. Let His peace quiet the voices in your mind that say you're not enough. Let His grace tell a new story, one where you don't have to earn love or prove your worth. One where you are already enough because He says you are. One where the past doesn't define you, and the future is filled with promises still unfolding. There's nothing more beautiful than a life held by God. Not a perfect life, not a polished life, but a life surrendered, a life that says, even in my weakness, I'll trust you. That's the life He blesses. That's the heart He draws near to. And that's the place where miracles begin, not always big and loud, but steady and quiet, like seeds planted in faith. You don't have to worry about tomorrow. You don't have to fix everything today. Just rest in knowing that God sees where you are and knows where you're going. He is guiding you with hands that shaped the stars. He is breathing new hope into dry bones. And He's doing it all because He loves you, deeply, eternally, and without conditions. No matter how far you've wandered, you're still just one whisper away from being wrapped in His arms again. He's never stopped waiting. He's never stopped loving. And right now, He's calling you back, not to rules, not to religion, but to relationship, to safety, to peace. You are not forgotten in the noise of the world. This message is proof that heaven has not overlooked you. No matter how hidden your pain has been, God has been paying attention, and He's ready to comfort you in a way nothing else ever could. Type 1212 if you walk by faith, even when you can't see what's next. Life has a way of wearing us down. Sometimes it's slow and quiet, like sand slipping through your hands, and other times it crashes over you all at once. You try to stay strong for everyone else. You smile in public and collapse in private. And when you're alone, that's when the voices come, the ones that say you're failing, you're behind, you're not good enough. But none of that is true. Not one word. God's voice speaks something entirely different over you. you are loved. You are chosen. You are being held. What if wealth was never about luck, but a hidden brain signal buried in CIA files? This frequency is opening doors, attracting opportunities, and changing lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to attract wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brain wave today. Even now, He is reaching through your sorrow and placing peace where the pain once lived. You may not feel it all at once, and that's okay. Healing isn't a race. Grace isn't rushed. God doesn't work on a clock. He works on your heart. And what He starts, He finishes. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't run out of chances. The things that broke you will not have the final say. God is not bound by time, and His plans for you have not been cancelled by your delays or detours. He knows every road you've walked. He knows the doors that closed. He knows how hard you tried to stay strong when it felt like no one saw you drowning. But He saw you. He always has. There is no shame in being tired. There is no failure in needing rest. There is no weakness in admitting you're hurting. In fact, those are the very things that draw God closest. He is near to the broken-hearted. He binds up wounds not with pressure but with presence. His comfort isn't temporary. It runs deep, settling in the cracks of your soul and bringing life where there was only survival. God isn't distant. He isn't waiting for you to climb some spiritual ladder. He's beside you in the lowest valley. He's beside you in the questions, the confusion, the grief you haven't told anyone about. He doesn't flinch at your anger, your sadness, or your silence. He stays. Always. Type 666 if you trust Jesus to walk you through the darkness. Jesus knows what it means to feel alone. He knows what it means to be betrayed, misunderstood, and rejected. That's why He doesn't watch your suffering from afar. He steps right into it. He doesn't avoid your wounds. He walks with you through them. He doesn't tell you to hide your scars. He shows you His own. And with every step, He reminds you, you are not alone. Even when everything feels uncertain, when the future looks foggy, when you're barely holding it all together, He is still guiding you. He is still writing your story. And it's not over. Not even close. You may not understand why things happened the way they did. Some of your deepest pain may never get a clear explanation in this life. But what you can hold on to is this: God never wasted a single moment. The things that shattered you are the same places where His light will shine through. And the weight you carried is becoming the strength you'll soon use to lift someone else. God isn't just healing you for yourself. He's preparing you to be a beacon for others. Every tear, every struggle, every lonely night will become a part of someone else's healing because you chose to keep going. And in that, your story becomes sacred. Not because it was easy, but because you allowed God to shape something eternal through it. You are not a burden. You are not broken beyond repair. You are a living testimony of grace in motion. And even now, that grace is still moving, still working, still drawing beauty from what looked like ruins. When you're tired of trying, God whispers, "Let me carry you." When you're afraid of what's next, He reminds you, I already stand in your tomorrow. When you're grieving the version of life you hoped for, He gently says, I'm building something better. Let that truth settle deep inside. God's love is not based on how well you perform, how many mistakes you've made, or how long you've been away. It's based on who He is. And He is love. Steady, unwavering, all-consuming love. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to earn it. You just have to receive it. There is so much more ahead of you. You may not see it yet, but God is planting new things even in this season of stillness. The silence is not a punishment, it's preparation. The closed doors were not rejection, they were redirection. And every step you take now, no matter how small, is moving you closer to something beautiful. You are not being ignored. You are being deeply formed. So hold on. Let your heart be still. Let your spirit breathe again. You are not falling apart, you are being rebuilt from the inside out. Stronger, softer, wiser. And through it all, God is right there. Not disappointed. Not frustrated. Just faithful. Faithful to stay. Faithful to love. Faithful to restore everything that life tried to take from you. Not one moment of your struggle has gone unnoticed. Not a single cry has been unheard. This message was sent straight from the heart of heaven, because your soul matters deeply to the one who created it. Type 2323 if you agree that God still has a purpose for your life. Some burdens are so quiet that no one sees them. You carry them through your routines, through your responsibilities, through your moments of pretending everything's okay. But God sees them. He sees the weight on your shoulders, the heaviness in your chest, and the exhaustion behind your smile. He understands the pressure you feel to keep it together, to not let anyone see how close you are to falling apart. But He doesn't want you to walk this path alone anymore. His love is not here to judge, it's here to lift, to carry, to gently lead you home. A 7-second at-home ritual, scientifically proven by neuroscience labs and hidden for decades in CIA files, is now public, and people are seeing money flow into their lives. Scientists say it activates a brain pathway linked to abundance. Click the link in the comments below before this knowledge disappears again. Even now, as you read these words, He's near. Not in a distant or abstract way, but close, closer than your next breath. He's sitting with you in the quiet moments. He's walking beside you in the chaos. And He's holding your heart when it aches with questions that have no answers. The love of Jesus isn't loud or flashy. It's not forced or pushed. It waits patiently, faithfully, always ready for you to turn and remember you were never forgotten. Sometimes it feels like everything good is slipping away too fast. Dreams feel distant, relationships fade, health declines, and peace feels like a memory. But the truth is, not everything that's lost is gone forever. God has a way of restoring things in ways you could never imagine. He knows how to rebuild broken places and breathe life into what feels dead. He doesn't need the situation to be perfect to start working, He just needs your heart to stay open. God knows the things you don't talk about. He knows about the shame that still lingers from choices you regret. He knows the grief that rises unexpectedly and the anxiety that visits without warning. And yet, He still calls you worthy. Still calls you loved. Still calls you His. That's the grace of the God who never gives up. That's the mercy of the Savior who left heaven for your healing. Type 2020 to claim miracles over your life through Jesus Christ. There's something sacred about the way Jesus loves us. He doesn't walk into our lives expecting us to be clean and whole. He walks into our mess, sits with us in it, and begins to wash the wounds with His presence. He doesn't demand that you rise on your own. He reaches down, with nail-scarred hands, and lifts you gently. He's not waiting at the finish line, He's walking every step beside you. You don't have to be ashamed of your weakness. God isn't repelled by your struggles. In fact, your weakness is what draws Him in. He delights in showing His strength through the places you feel the most broken. You might think you have to earn His love, or prove yourself worthy of a second chance, but the truth is, He loved you first. Before the failures, before the mistakes, before the scars, He loved you. And He still does. There is nothing you've gone through that is wasted in God's hands. Even the darkest chapters can be rewritten into testimonies of grace. Even the seasons you thought would destroy you are now being used to shape you. You're not who you used to be, and that's not something to fear. It's something to thank God for. Because through every trial, He's been forming something eternal in you. The pain has not been pointless. The waiting has not been worthless. The delays have not been denials. God has been preparing you for something deeper. Something better. Something holy. And even if you don't see it yet, He is faithful to finish what He started. He doesn't leave His children halfway. He completes. He restores. He redeems. There will be a day when the weight you're carrying now will become the strength you lean on. There will be a day when the tears you cried in silence will become part of someone else's healing. You may not feel strong now, but your endurance is proof that God's hand is on your life. Your survival isn't accidental, it's divine. If you've been asking God to show you a sign, let this be it. If you've been waiting for a word, for something to remind you that you still matter, let these words sink deep. You are seen. You are loved. You are still part of the story God is telling. It hasn't ended. He hasn't turned the page without you. He's just preparing the next chapter, one that you'll read one day and say, "That's why I had to go through it. That's why it didn't work out. That's where God saved me." There is freedom coming. There is light ahead. You may not feel it yet, but it's already on its way. The things that seemed impossible are being made possible in ways you never expected. The people who walked away were never meant to hold your destiny. The places that broke you were not your final home. God is leading you into something more stable, more beautiful, more eternal. Hold on. Don't give up now. Not when you're so close to breakthrough. Not when God is still moving. Not when angels have been assigned to protect you in places you can't even see. Every time you felt like quitting but didn't, that was Him. Every time you felt a little hope flicker in your heart, even after a long season of disappointment, that was Him. Every time peace came over you without reason, that was Him. He hasn't stopped. He hasn't walked away. He's still working. And He's not just working around you, He's working within you. Building patience. Deepening trust. Strengthening faith. Healing wounds. Creating space for joy that lasts. God is not looking for perfect people. He's looking for surrendered hearts. Hearts that are willing to admit they need Him. Hearts that are tired of running and finally ready to rest. Hearts like yours. He's been waiting, not with anger, but with compassion. Not with judgment, but with open arms. This message is heaven's gentle touch on your shoulder, not to tell you to push through, but to let you know you don't have to do this alone anymore. God sees you, completely, and still chooses you, still loves you, still fights for you. Type Amen if you believe God is holding your life in His hands. You may not know what to pray anymore. You may have run out of words, or feel like your prayers are too small, too late, or too broken to matter. But that's not how God sees them. Even the smallest whisper from your heart reaches Him. Even the sighs that leave your lips in exhaustion are gathered in His hands like treasure. He doesn't need long, eloquent speeches. He listens to the honest, trembling prayers of the hurting. And right now, He hears yours. A classified 7-second morning ritual, once buried in CIA files, is quietly transforming financial lives. In under 30 seconds, it helps shift the mind from scarcity to wealth, with many reporting surprise income and peace. Click the link in the comments below before the page is removed. God knows how tired you are. Not just tired in your body, but in your spirit. He knows the weight of all you've carried, the disappointments that have piled up, the people you've had to be strong for, the dreams you've quietly buried, and the hope that sometimes feels too fragile to hold. He knows the stories behind your silence and the tears that only fall when the lights are out. And He wants you to know, He's not distant. He's not waiting for you to pull yourself together. He's already sitting with you in the middle of it all. There is nothing about you that scares God away. Not the mess, not the mistakes, not the regrets. He doesn't flinch at your sadness. He doesn't walk away when you're too tired to try. In fact, those are the moments when He comes closest. He leans in when others turn away. He stays when others leave. He holds when you have nothing left to give. You don't have to hide from Him. You don't have to pretend. He already knows, and He still chooses you. Type 7777 if you're trusting God to heal what you can't fix. Sometimes we get so used to surviving that we forget how to receive comfort. We become so good at enduring that we don't know how to feel safe. But God doesn't want you to live life always bracing for impact, always waiting for the next thing to go wrong. He wants to give you peace, not just around you, but within you. He wants to remind you that you were made for more than just getting through the day, you were made to live in the freedom of His love. There are some wounds that no one else can see. You carry them quietly, tucked behind polite smiles and strong words. But Jesus sees them. And He doesn't come to shame you for them, He comes to heal them. The Savior who bled for you didn't do it to make you feel guilty. He did it so you could be free from everything that has ever tried to destroy you. He knows your story. Every chapter. The parts you wish you could rewrite. The pages filled with pain. The ones you've tried to forget. He knows it all. And still, He calls you beautiful. Still, He calls you His. Still, He says, I'm not finished with you. That's the heart of God. He doesn't discard broken things. He restores them. He doesn't erase your scars, He transforms them into something sacred. You might not feel strong right now. You might feel like you're barely holding on. But the good news is, you don't have to be strong all the time. That's not your job. Your job is to rest in the one who is strength itself. Let Jesus carry what you can't. Let Him be your shelter in this storm. Let Him remind you that you were never meant to do this alone. Healing doesn't always come in a flash. Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes it's quiet. But it's happening. Every time you choose to breathe instead of break, healing is happening. Every time you let yourself cry and invite God into that moment, healing is happening. Every time you choose faith instead of fear, even if it's just a small flicker, healing is happening. You are not forgotten. Your prayers are not being ignored. Your tears are not being wasted. God is still moving, still speaking, still working behind the scenes. He hasn't taken His eyes off of you. And He never will. The enemy wants you to believe that nothing will ever change. That the pain will last forever. That you'll always feel stuck. But that's a lie. Jesus came to break those lies. He came to bring light into your darkness, hope into your sorrow, and beauty into your brokenness. The grave could not hold Him. And if it couldn't hold Him, then no hopeless situation can hold you down forever either. Your breakthrough may not look the way you expected. It may not come on your timeline. But it's coming. Every promise of God is still alive and active. His word over your life hasn't expired. It hasn't been cancelled. It hasn't been erased by your pain. It's still true. And in time, you'll see what He was doing all along. The same God who parted seas, calmed storms, and healed the broken is holding you now. He hasn't changed. His heart is still gentle. His grace is still endless. And His love for you is still fierce and unstoppable. Don't let the silence fool you. God is still present. Don't let the delay convince you it's denial. God is still preparing. Don't let your past convince you that you're disqualified. God still chooses you. Even in your most hidden seasons, when it felt like the world passed you by, God saw you. He still sees you now. And this message isn't just words on a screen. It's a reminder sent straight from God's heart to yours. He's not done with you. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not ever. Type 333 if you believe God is preparing something new in your life. There are moments when the noise of life becomes too loud, and it drowns out the quiet whisper of truth inside you. You begin to wonder if anything will ever get better, if joy will return, if peace will ever stay. Sometimes the hardest part of the journey is simply holding on when everything around you is telling you to let go. But the truth is, you don't have to hold on alone. God is holding you. He's holding the pieces you can't fix. He's holding the questions you can't answer. He's holding the pain you've learned to hide. And He's doing it with gentleness. You don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to keep pretending everything is okay when it's not. God isn't looking for perfection, He's looking for presence. Your presence. He just wants you to come as you are, without the masks, without the pressure to perform, and without the fear of being too much or not enough. He knows every layer of you, even the ones you've never shown anyone. And He still calls you beloved. Do you know, inside your brain is a small region linked to wealth and success, once buried in restricted research and hidden in CIA files. This newly revealed frequency is helping people replace stress with financial ease, and God has guided you here. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brain wave now. You may be walking through a chapter that feels like loss. Maybe something precious has slipped through your fingers. Maybe someone you loved deeply is no longer by your side. Maybe your plans unraveled, and you're left wondering what to do now. Whatever your pain is, God isn't standing on the sidelines. He is weeping with you. He's walking with you. And in time, He will turn your mourning into something meaningful. There is beauty being born in this place of surrender. There is strength rising in your weakness. You are not falling apart. You are falling into grace. And grace will hold you steady until joy returns, until light breaks through, until peace covers you like a blanket and healing feels real again. Type 1010 if you believe God is not finished with your story. You may not be where you want to be, but God hasn't left your side. He hasn't abandoned you to figure it out on your own. He walks with you, step by step, through every valley and every shadow. He knows how deep the hurt goes. He knows how long you've waited. And He's not ashamed of your questions. He invites them. He welcomes your honesty. He listens without judgment. Even in your silence, He hears you. Even in your fear, He protects you. Even in your doubt, He remains faithful. Jesus came for people just like you, people with real struggles, real heartbreak, real needs. He didn't come for the perfect. He came for the weary. For the crushed. For the ones whose faith is small but still holding on. He came for the ones who feel forgotten and unworthy. And He never turned anyone away. He still doesn't. This pain you feel right now, it won't last forever. It's real, it's valid, but it's not permanent. God is not only the God of the mountaintop. He is the God of the valley too. He doesn't just wait for you to climb up and get it right. He comes down into your struggle and stays until you're ready to rise again. There's something about suffering that teaches us how deep love can really go. When the world has nothing to offer, when people let us down, when dreams fall apart, that's when God's love becomes our anchor. That's when we see that His love doesn't depend on our strength, but on His. And His strength never runs out. You are not failing because you're struggling. You are not weak because you cry. You are not broken because you feel like giving up. You are human. And being human means you need help. That's why God sent Jesus, to be our constant help, our unfailing hope, our never-ending light. So breathe. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to know what tomorrow holds. All you need to do is rest in the truth that God is already in your tomorrow. He's preparing blessings that will chase you down when you least expect them. He's aligning moments that will restore what you lost. He's setting things in motion even when everything around you feels stuck. Every seed of faith you've planted, every prayer whispered through tears, every time you chose to believe even when you felt like quitting, God saw it all. And He is faithful to honor it. Your prayers are not in vain. Your hope is not wasted. Your waiting is not empty. God is still God, and He is still good. And even though you might not feel strong today, the fact that you're still here, still reading, still breathing, still fighting, that's proof of the strength He's been giving you all along. You're stronger than you know. Not because of your own power, but because His power is living inside you. What lies ahead is greater than what you're leaving behind. You are not walking toward more pain, you are walking toward healing. You are not walking toward more confusion, you are walking toward clarity. You are not walking into more storms, you are walking into calm, into breakthrough, into peace. Let your heart be open to what God wants to do next. Let your hands release what you were never meant to carry. Let your soul rest in the safety of His promises. He is not finished. He is just getting started. The road may be hard, but it leads somewhere beautiful. And when you finally arrive at the place He's leading you, you'll look back and realize that every tear, every trial, and every step was worth it. This message is not random. It's not coincidence. It's a holy reminder, wrapped in love and sent straight into your moment of need. Whatever you've been carrying, you don't have to carry it alone anymore. Whatever has weighed down your soul, God wants to lift it. He wants to lift you. Type 8888 if you believe God is still working miracles in your life. Maybe this week has been heavier than others. Maybe this year has taken more than it gave. Maybe you've cried more tears than you've told anyone about. And maybe, just maybe, you've started to wonder if God still hears you, if He still remembers your name. But let this be the moment your heart hears the truth again: God hasn't forgotten you. His hands haven't left your life. His promises haven't faded. And His plans for you have not changed. The world may label you by your past, by your pain, or by your mistakes. But God calls you His child. His beloved. His masterpiece in progress. He doesn't define you by your failures. He sees you through the eyes of grace. He knows your story from beginning to end, and even the pages you wish didn't exist, He uses them for something beautiful. That's what grace does. It doesn't erase the past. It redeems it. There are battles you've fought that no one else knows about. Some scars are hidden behind your strength, your silence, and your smile. But Jesus knows. He sees beyond the surface. He understands the exhaustion you can't explain. And He's not impatient with your healing. He's not disappointed in your process. He simply stays. Even when others walk away. Even when you're too tired to pray. Even when your faith is hanging by a thread. He stays. Financial freedom is not about effort, but activating a hidden brain signal once buried in CIA files. Neuroscience shows this sound wave helps attract money and opportunity faster, and thousands are already seeing unexpected income. Click the link in the description and comments now to activate the ancient money wave today. And that's the love that changes everything, not a love that expects you to be perfect, but a love that meets you right in the middle of your mess, your doubts, and your fears. That's the kind of love that holds on when you feel like letting go. Type 444 if you know God's love is greater than your fear. Sometimes, life brings storms we didn't see coming. Loss we didn't prepare for. Change that feels unfair. But God is still in control. And not in a distant, cold way, but in the tender, personal way of a father who knows how to turn even your deepest pain into something meaningful. He knows how to take your broken pieces and create a life more whole than you imagined. He's not done. And neither are you. Even when it feels like your prayers are bouncing off the ceiling, they are not. Heaven hears. Heaven remembers. Heaven moves on your behalf in ways you cannot see. You might be walking through a season where nothing makes sense, but you don't have to understand everything to trust the one who does. He has never stopped working for your good. There are blessings that take time to build. There are victories that come after the hardest battles. There are seasons of waiting that are filled with divine preparation. Just because you don't see results right now doesn't mean God isn't doing something powerful behind the curtain of your circumstances. When you feel like you're stuck, God is often setting the foundation for something new. When you feel forgotten, God is often writing the part of the story that will take your breath away later. So don't measure your worth by what you see right now. Don't assume the silence means absence. God is here. And He's not done speaking. There's nothing too hard for Him. No mistake too deep. No wound too complicated. No fear too great. Whatever your heart is carrying, God already knows, and He still says you're enough. Not because of what you've done, but because of who He is and how deeply He loves you. If you're grieving something lost, know this: God is a restorer. If you're afraid of what's next, know this: God is already there. If you're unsure how to go on, know this: God is walking every step with you. You don't have to see the whole path. You just have to take the next breath, knowing you are not alone. God is not looking for perfect faith. He's not demanding flawless strength. He's looking for hearts that will trust, even when they're trembling. Hearts that will say, "I don't know how, but I'll keep believing anyway." That's when miracles happen, not in our certainty, but in our surrender. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to be human. You're allowed to say, "God, I need you," and fall into His arms without fear. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to pretend. He already knows. And He still chooses you. Let go of the pressure. Let go of the fear that says you're behind or unworthy. You are not forgotten. You are not too far gone. You are not disqualified from the goodness of God. You are still chosen, still held, still loved, and still surrounded by grace. God is walking you into healing, even if it doesn't look the way you imagined. He's guiding you through pain and into purpose. The peace you're craving is closer than you think, not found in everything going right, but in knowing that even when things are wrong, God is still right there. So be gentle with yourself. This season may have drained you, but it did not defeat you. This pain may have shaken you, but it did not separate you from God's love. And this message is proof, He's still speaking. He's still reaching. He's still drawing you near. Rest in that love. Breathe in that hope. Let His words become your anchor when the waves try to pull you under. Let His presence be the place where you finally stop running, stop pretending, and simply rest. You don't need to keep pretending to be okay when you're not. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to have all the answers. You are allowed to feel tired. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to bring your brokenness to the feet of Jesus without shame. He never asked you to be flawless, He only asks that you come as you are. With your pain, your fears, your weariness, your truth. Maybe you've been holding your breath for too long, waiting for things to change, for a breakthrough, for something to feel different. You've tried to stay hopeful even when your heart was tired. You've done your best, but it still feels like nothing is shifting. But here's the truth, just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean nothing is happening. Some of God's greatest miracles begin in the silence, in the stillness, in the places where we feel forgotten. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not abandoned. Heaven is not ignoring your prayers. The waiting has not been in vain. God has been working even in the quiet. He's been weaving strength into your soul, building endurance in your spirit, and preparing a way where you couldn't see one. The moment you gave up trying to fix it all on your own was the moment grace stepped in to carry what you couldn't.